BD5 Pilot with you out at the Hillsboro hangar on a Thursday afternoon, and been working on bringing the temperature up in here. That heater's still working, but it was 53 when I got in here, and we're just approaching 60. So it's taken its jolly sweet time. But let me show you what I'm working on. Remember, I made the printouts of the drill pattern that I want for that logo, and this is one of those drill patterns. I use the blank out of the part I cut out of for the instrument panel, and then I've got this material that is self-adhesive, sticks onto here, and then we're going to use that to hold that in place. But where is that going to go? Remember how I talked about in an earlier video, I held up a red print out of that logo, but that's where that pattern's going to go. Is that's going to be drilled into the glare shield, so that when you look at it from the side, you'll see kind of a subtle logo. It'll be on both sides, and that'll be for venting any warm air that the instruments create underneath that glare shield. So now we're going to see just how long it takes to get those set with the little punch. Well, you might notice I got interrupted, and I'll tell you why I got interrupted. I got a knock on the door, and it was my hangar mate, Ed, across the way. He said, "Hey, what you working on?" I showed him that I laid out this pattern, and he said, "Think of using a CNC machine for that?" And I said, "Yeah, I don't have one, but that'd be a great idea." And he said, "Well, let me look at what you're working on, get the dimensions." He wrote a couple things down, took one of my templates, and so he's going to plug that into his CNC machine, play with it a little bit tonight, and if it works, I'll see him soon and give him a piece of sheet aluminum and have him do it for me. So that sure changed what I'm working on. Now, what I decided to do is, yeah, I did. I strapped myself in the plane. I've got these impact units all on. It's like, well, hey, why did he do that? Well, I'll tell you why. I've been looking at heater ideas for the aircraft and thinking of a few crazy ideas where I try to mount a little maybe ceramic 12-volt electric heater into these. Well, let me show you where. Down in these armrests, either at the forward end or the back end, is an aluminum piece that I could get onto and then try to put forced air inside of these units on each side, and then see if I could vent some hot air through there and make it an effective way of heating this aircraft. Well, after a lot of thought, I decided that's probably a little too much work and probably not going to work the way I want it to. So I've changed my idea. And what I'm looking at right now is one of those, let's see, Hot Wired is the name of it. Hot Wired makes a set of electric liners that are for motorcycles, and you wear them underneath a riding suit. But for the aircraft, I looked them over. They'd be fine to slip over your pants and your shirt inside of an aircraft, this aircraft, and then have a means of plugging them in. So they make a jacket, and the jacket has a little plug down near the left pocket area, left lower pocket area, which I could plug right into this little spot right here. That has a little place I could create a plug that would plug these units in. And then they also make a little Y that can be used for taking that electric signal coming out of the alternator and electrical system of this aircraft and then branch it into the set of heated pants and the heated jacket. The jacket down at the arms have a little plug that you'll plug into the set of gloves that they sell. The glove liners is what I'd use because I don't need a big bulky glove in here. Actually, I want a small glove, but having heat to my fingers might be a nice idea if I'm going to be taking this up over 6,000 to 7,000 feet, especially on one of the cooler days. And if I'm going to go to 10,000 feet, I'm definitely going to need it. The other thing they make are little liners for the shoe. So you remove your insole, you take your shoes and put this heated piece in, and those have a little plug at the bottom of the heated pants that plug in, And so down at the little control I'd have at my left lower pocket area is I'd have two little push buttons. One's for the jacket, and then the jacket will also control what's in the gloves. And I can set them at low, medium, or high. And then the same thing with the heated pants with the shoe liners. I can set them at low, medium, or high. And I'm actually figuring flying in this aircraft. It's my feet, my toes, my hands, and my lower part of my legs probably going to be the thing that gets the coldest because it's going to be underneath that canopy with the glare shield under it. There's not going to be anything radiating heat. Whereas when I'm up here under the canopy part, I'm going to have the sun coming in. This part of my body probably is going to do a better job of keeping warm than down lower. But having an ability to keep it warm seems like a good idea. So that's in the future for putting in this aircraft. My last video also talked about the alternator system, and actually the manufacturer, since they found out the other company backed out of doing any work on this since it was a manned project, they're back actually in the mix. They have a 24 volt 1200 watt brushless alternator that fits on the back of the starter ring, and actually I'm asking them just look at that, see if we can just turn that into a 12 volt 2400 watt alternator, and that's going to serve my purposes just perfect and should be just a matter of some little bit of change in the electronics, so that should work fine. Did get a user question. User was asking me how much fuel does that wing hold? Well, there's actually two of them. So there's a wing tank on each side of this, and it comprises the inner third of the wing as a wet wing, and each of those tanks holds 13 gallons. So the total fuel capacity in this aircraft is 26 gallons, which I'm quite sure is going to far exceed anything my bladder is capable of doing on a flight, considering I'm going to probably have a fuel burn somewhere in the 5 gallon an hour area in this aircraft. So unless I figure out a way to put a pitot relief tube into this aircraft, I'm probably going to limit this to 2-3 hour flights, stuff like that. For now, BD5 pilot's out. I've got someone else doing the CNC work to make that jig for me, and I'm sitting here patiently waiting on the engine. Hey, did y'all watch the video, the YouTube video that ZDZ Engines put out? I posted it, and so I've got videos of the engine running. If you're watching my YouTube channel, it's a little harder for me to link, so that's if you look for ZDZ Engines USA, the ZDZ 500B4-J. There's a startup video, there's a warm-up video that they posted so you can hear what the engine's going to sound like and kind of get an idea what its size is, seeing the person sitting there. But real excited to hear that engine running, and hope to get it here soon to Portland, Oregon, and get to work on fitting it into this aircraft. For now, BD5 Pilot is out.